Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the Smith & Wesson M&P 43 cal paintball marker. It can also use rubber balls and plastic balls, anything you really want that is in 43 caliber. It is made by Umarex and it is from the T4E line, same as the HDX that we reviewed earlier. We're going to be going over everything you're going to need for it, everything that comes in the box with it, how it performs, likes, dislikes, whole review. So to get started, this is a beautiful and super real looking gun. It looks like a real 9mm pistol. It is made by Smith & Wesson. It's from their M&P line, so it's made exactly like a regular Smith & Wesson M&P 9mm would be. So it is the same thing as that, however it is just a paintball gun and it is in 43 caliber. Now, we have this slide action here, which is how you rack one. So if we had a paintball in the chamber, we'd pull that back, and it stops because we don't have one. Same thing as a regular gun. Got this right here. Click that down, slides forward. There you go. Now here, we're going to start talking about mags. This is the regular mag that comes with it. All of the internal instruments and everything you're going to need to actually make the gun work is inside the mag. Peel this thing back here, and there's a little Allen screw. Or if you take something like this, Allen wrench, you can unscrew it, screw it. That's how you get the CO2 in there. It's going to take 12 gram CO2. I think it shoots a really large amount of magazines through this before the CO2 runs out. I think it's about 5, and then during the 6th mag it drops off. But that is really good, and the reason for that being is because it's 43 caliber as compared to 68. But really good CO2 consumption as far as that goes. This magazine holds 8 rounds. And all you got to do is to load this mag is this little spring here. As you pull the spring down, push it to the right or left, depending on where you're at. It's there. Put the balls in here. Once you get 8 of them in there, click it forward, and you're ready to go. Load that up, rack one, good to go. Now, what is all going to be coming in the box? First off, of course, we have the gun, 1 magazine, 3 different grip styles, which is one of my favorite parts about this gun because for it to be your gun, you want to have it fit in your hand well. You have the medium, the large, and right now I have the small grip on it, which is just what fits my hands best. But you can go and do whatever you want with it. To exchange that, all you have to do, drop the mag out, and right in here there's this little clip. Push that forward. Pull that forward, and that pops right out of there. And you can put in whatever one you want, but I like the small one, so I'm going to be keeping that one in there. There we go, got that one popped back in there. Now the other thing that is going to be coming with this is a bag like this. Now it has a rubber ball spring, which means it is a harder spring if you're going to be shooting rubber balls out of it as compared to paintballs. It comes stock with a paintball spring inside of it, so if you're planning on using it for paintball, you won't have to do any take-aparts or anything like that. It also comes with a squeegee and a couple other pieces just for maintenance. Now, there is a different kind of mag that you can get aftermarket called the quick piercing mag. If we were to compare this to the other mag, it doesn't have this. That is the only difference here, is that instead of having a Allen screw in here, it just has this, which you push. Now, as far as my recommendation on mags, I have one of these that came stock with it, and I bought 2 of these at the same time. I have used both, and they work the same. However, I don't really like the quick piercing action because you actually have to have it in the gun to quick pierce it, which just isn't my favorite. It also is kind of loosely sat in there, and it just adds some extra work to have to take it out because they give you this extra piece here, which is just a little key that you pop right into the back here, and then you just push on it, and the CO2 will pop out as compared to just unscrewing it on the other one. So I think it just adds a lot of extra work, and it also makes the gun look a lot less clean. Like you can see here, it's very clean and there's nothing poking out here. It looks like a real gun, but if you put something like this in there, it kind of has that paintball gun look, which it's okay. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but I guess I just prefer how clean the gun looked beforehand. So the next thing we're going to be talking about is actual performance. I've only used this thing as for a paintball gun. I use it as my secondary. It's a very good secondary, It shoots very well, not up to a super long range. When we go out and test it, I'll be going deeper into that and how the range works, and you'll be able to see it. But the 43 cal balls shoot faster and harder. And the reason for that being is that compared to a 64 caliber ball, they are a lot smaller. Here we have a 64 cal, and here we have a 43 cal. This is what goes in this gun. This is what goes in other guns like the HDX or the First Strike T15. So big comparison there is that it's a lot smaller. So what does that mean? It's going to be shooting faster and farther because there's less wind resistance, and it takes less power to shoot it out the barrel. It's the same reason that we get such good CO2 consumption. Overall, I love this gun. It is my favorite purchase. It's going to run you about $300. It's shooting about 250 FPS. So if you're going to go to a paintball field, it can shoot higher than most paintball fields will allow, but you can tone it down, and you know, if you go in there and just shoot a couple rounds to the CO2, the FPS will drop a little bit, so you can kind of, you know, scam them on that and then just put a new one in and load it up, and you got a fresh gun that's shooting 250 FPS. I absolutely love this gun. It feels great. It looks great. Everything about it I absolutely adore. I really like the sights on it. As you can see here, they're orange. It's very accurate up to about, I'd say 20 to 30 yards. Overall, great secondary. I love how it feels. But let's load it up and then go test it. All right, now let's get this loaded. So what you're going to do to get it loaded, so all you're going to do is take off the mag. We're going to load it first, and then we're going to air it up. So, like I said, pull this back right there. We have 8 43 calibers. 1, 2, 7, 8. There we go. And then you're going to just click this forward. Boom. There we go. They're not coming out. They're in there. They're in there good. Now you're going to be putting your CO2 in here. We got to click this bottom pad back. That's where your Allen screw is. Pop this in here. If you want to put any lube or grease on it, you just put it right in there. Stick that in there. Take your Allen wrench. It comes with 2 of these. Spin it, get to where it's almost tight. I like switching to this grip, and you're going to hear just a little puff of air. You barely even hear it right there. But now I know it's activated, and it's ready to go. Now we're ready to shoot. Alright, so we just got done shooting. That was awesome. I love shooting this gun. I even shot a few mags afterward just to empty out the CO2, but we still have a little bit left in this mag. So on the HDX and like the Umarex HDS, they have those little buttons that would like pop up and you can push them to release excess CO2. But with this one, all you're going to be doing is same thing as putting it in, flip it back, take it here, unscrew, there you go. There's all your excess CO2 out of there. You just pop that out. CO2 is empty. To give you guys an example of how much power this has before we get into the final review, this is a Coors Light can that we were shooting at about 15 yards. When we were shooting the keg, it was at about 30 yards, and that was super accurate. So this thing will be accurate up to 30 yards-ish, and then it starts falling off. But the amount of power that this thing had, it shot a hole not only through the front, but it came out the back. So that gives you a bit of a power scale there. That was crazy. I think that really defines its power very well. But to get into the final review, I would totally recommend this gun to anyone looking for a paintball sidearm, a paintball pistol, or just something to have fun with. They do brand it as a less lethal home defense weapon, and on their other line of training for engagement, that's what the T4E here stands for, just like the HDX and the HDS. They are all by Umarex, including this one. I'd say that this is the best one just because the ammo is going to be running you less money, and also you can have it just locked, loaded, ready to go. The only thing that has a problem with that is your springs can get worn out. Don't leave your mags wound back like this. It's bad for the springs. Same with anything else with springs. But I would totally still recommend it for a less lethal home defense weapon because I think it's the best one out there. It's small, it's compact, it feels real, it looks real, and it's just a great training for engagement weapon. It can be a bit pricey, running you about $300. I think I ended up spending about $350 with the 2 mags that I bought as well. I think they're about $25 a piece depending on which ones you get. I think these kind without the quick piercing are like $35, and then these ones are like $50. I don't know. But it's a great gun. I love it. Everything about it is great. The only complaints I would have is the range, but I don't really think this is supposed to be a gun that you're shooting at range. It's meant for CQB or close quarters combat. That's why I would recommend it as a secondary. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it as a primary, but you could use it as that as well. Overall, it's a beautiful gun. Yeah, I would recommend. So, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more paintball content. I just let out a few videos about the First Strike T15. We got more coming about the First Strike T15. We have a barrel review. We have a bunch of new videos coming, so make sure you subscribe to see all the rest of that. I'll see you guys next time.